What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Sistas on BT Season 4, Episode 9. The episode is titled Pursuit for Truth, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't yet subscribed, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out in this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's talk about Sistas on BET, shall we? All right, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into the review, I do want to say, congratulations to Tyler Perry, the cast of Sistas, for making 100 episodes. Congratulations on that. And here's to 100 more. Now, here's to 100 more. Despite the things that we say about Sistas, I still enjoy the show. I wish that there were better. I wish that Tyler would clean up some of the things with the show, this and with the Oval. But overall, congratulations on 100 episodes. Here's to many more. Right? Where in the hell did that mosquito come from? Child, this weather. And y'all love the car reviews. And let me ask y'all that question since I'm talking. What do y'all love so much about the car reviews? I know a lot of y'all be like, "Oh my God, JB, you in the car?" Yeah. So this week I will be in the car. I think next week we'll be in the house. Maybe. I haven't made up my mind on that one yet, but I think this week. I know for the rest of this week it's gonna be all car videos. Next week, like I said, we may switch back to the house. So I think I may do this like weekly. I think I may switch it up different weeks. Like one week we might do all car videos. The next week we might be in the house, depending on the weather. Because y'all know Texas weather. If you don't know, Texas weather is up and down. So this episode, we open up where we left off last week, right? You guys remember Danny went to Andy's office and told Andy that she had unlived Jonah, right? So Andy's asking her, like, who did you unlive? And she was like, Jonah. She was like, girl, who the hell is Jonah? She was like, it's the mystery man that I was with the other night when you called, right? So Fatima came in with some water, and Fatima told her, no, stay, Fatima. And Danny was like, it's okay, right? So Danny told the story about how she took him home, he slapped her, then he spit on her, and Fatima was like, he did what? Fatima was like, that sounds like self-defense. And Andy's like, it's not self-defense. It was self-defense when he was in your home, but when you went outside, it wasn't self-defense. You know what? Andy is right, though. Because technically, it's not self-defense in her home. Because he attacked her in her home. If she had to beat him up in the house, yeah, that is self-defense. But you did follow him. So that is not technically self-defense, right? So Andy tells Danny that by her going outside, because she was like, she beat his ass with a stick. She, ran into his car. She kind of blacked out. And she said that, with you doing all that makes things complicated. And I was like, you know what? I get Andy's point, right? But I also want Andy to just shut the f up, right? So then, Fatima was like, girl, well, all you got to do is say the word and we can make some shit happen, right? And, she was like, word. And Andy was like, no. I'm like, girl, Andy, shut up. Your best friend is sitting here telling you that a nigga just spit in her face and slapped her. Girl, we finna say word. A bird is the word. Any kind of word. Word. Every word in the book. Like, we gonna find we gonna find a synonym, whatever we gotta find for word. So Fatima then asked Danny, like, what is your address? So Danny says where she stays at, right? So Andy was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm looking around to see if anybody, if there's been any reports of a death, right? So Andy's like, you know what, that's good. And so they're like, what time did this happen? Oh my God. Oh, that is so nasty. Oh, that is nasty. So you guys, so I'm actually, just gonna pivot just a little bit, right? So I'm actually across the street from my apartment where I used to, my new apartment and my old apartment, right? So there's a park. You guys have never saw the park, but there's a park right here, right? And people come through here and walk their dogs, right? So people come through and walk their dogs. I come through here at night, run, jump rope, do all that kind of stuff, right? So there's this guy who was just walking right through here barefoot. I never understand people who walk around in public places bare feet. Mind you, people come over here and their dogs use the bathroom. Most times they don't pick up behind their dogs. And you walking around here barefoot, and he got his dog. I'm like, ugh, Jesus, that's just nasty. Back to the show. So they're looking to see if there was any death reports. So they asked Danny what time did this happen. She said about 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh yeah, if he was not here anymore, they would have put it on the news and everything, right? So Fatima asked Danny what is his name. She said his name is Jonah. She says, what is his last name? And Danny was like, I can't remember. And Andy was like, you don't know his last name? She's like, not now, Andrea. So she eventually remembers that his name, I think, is Scott. So Fatima said, it's all I need. So Fatima walks out and takes a phone call, right? So then Fatima did come back in and told them that, he did go to the hospital. He has a broken bone, some broken bones, broken ribs, but he fell off of a bike, right? So he's not gone. Once again, Fatima told Danny, girl, say word and we can handle this. And Fatima Danny wants to do it. Andy is saying no. I'm like, Andy, girl, if you don't sit there and shut your ass up. So she eventually told Fatima to go. So then Danny and Andy had a talk, right? Now, it's so interesting because I watched some of the special after Sistas went off last night, where Heather B hosted, and it was one thing that KJ said that I thought was very. I hadn't even really thought about this when it comes to Andy, because she kind of explained Andy, right? She called Andy a narcissist, right? She said Andy's a narcissist, much like Gary. Now I know for a fact Gary is a narcissist, but I never really thought about Andy being a narcissist, and the fact that when it comes to Andy's friends, she doesn't really ask her friends how they're doing or stuff like that. So I was like, wow. And it was in this moment that I was like, because I rewatched it this afternoon. I rewatched it today, right? So it was in that. I was looking at it today, and I was like, wow, because you can see her talking to Danny, and it's interesting the fact that Andy was trying to give Danny advice, but Andy doesn't even because she was telling Danny about calling Preston, right, and getting past that healing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's funny that Andy's saying all of this stuff, but yet it said you keep running back to Gary's ass. So you need to take your own advice. And Danny even clocked that, right? Danny clocked that. So let's pause here and let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, Zach. Zach is a whole fool, but we gotta love Zach, right? So Zach is at home, and Zach is, getting ready to take in his groceries, and Deja comes out and wants to help him. Zach was like, Deja, back up. And I'm like, Deja, girl, didn't you just see that Madam is Fatima's cousin? Girl, back your ass up. Don't help Zach. Don't do nothing to Zach, right? And, Deja's like, Zach, you ain't got to worry about me hitting on your fine, sexy ass or even sucking your dick. I was like, Deja, you're going a little too far, sis. Now, what if Fatima got a camera and heard you and sent Madam after your ass? So then she's telling Zach that you need to be careful about your in-laws. So it was when she said in-laws, I was like, wait a minute, Tyler Perry went way far. So what Tyler Perry did was, Tyler Perry didn't even show us the engagement of Zach and Fatima in this episode. So if you didn't watch Fatima, you missed the proposal that Zach gave, which technically I missed the proposal because I haven't finished the last 2 episodes. I was like, ain't that about a bitch? Like, last week's episode, you was talking about the proposal. He was supposed to take Fatima out on a date. And then this week, they're engaged. I guess I got to give Tyler credit for one thing. We are finally caught up. The timeline is caught up, so cool. So Deja was like, Fatima don't always wear her engagement ring. Now, I would like to know what the timeline is for that. How far into the engagement are they? Because I think, and you guys can correct me, isn't the engagement around the time of the season finale? Like, it's the season finale. Like episode 9 and 10, right? So, never mind. Let's move on. Now, Zach was dead ass wrong for pretending like Madam was there. Baby Deja was like, what? Like a roach running. I cracked up laughing at that scene, right? You guys, the next thing, I just can't with this. I just can't. I can't. So, we got Aaron, you guys. So, Aaron shows up over to Karen's home. I was just like, Aaron, you are so pathetic, my dude. Like, I get that he likes Karen. My issue with Aaron, and it has nothing to do with his ex-wife. I don't care about his ex-wife. My issue with Aaron is the fact that you and I want to preface this before anybody get in the comments section say, well, y'all go up for Zach and Fatima, and Zach and Fatima only known each other for X amount of time. I know you guys. So nobody has to get in the comments and be like, oh, we go up for Zach and Fatima. Yes, I do go up for Zach and Fatima. But I've also said with Zach and Fatima, I feel that Zach and Fatima are moving too fast. I don't even feel like Zach and Fatima have been together for a full month at this point, right? So I do feel that Zach and Fatima move too fast, and I definitely feel that Aaron is moving too fast when it comes to Karen. And then when my issue with Aaron is the fact that Karen literally told you she doesn't want you. She wants Zach. Despite all the negative shit that Karen uttered about Zach, she still wants to be with him. She still wants that baby to be his. And I just want Aaron just to move on from Karen. Karen is just as toxic as Zach is. Now, granted, Zach has changed, right? And they mentioned this on the Sistas after the episode after. Like, people can change, and sometimes they can't be, they have the potential to change, but they probably needed someone, needed a catalyst, other outside factors, right? Zach probably could have changed for Karen, right? But I don't think that Zach would have changed for Karen because of how Karen treated Zach. I don't think that would have ever happened. Excuse me, you guys. I know Zach was a fuck up, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that Zach was perfect. We don't really know the logistics of Zach and Karen's relationship prior to the show. So we don't know everything that Karen went through. And I know Duvall was talking about how he sees on Twitter how there's people have such a disdain for Karen, which a lot of us do have a disdain for Karen. And I want to say that for me, what my disdain for Karen comes in is the fact that Karen is just very miserable and she puts it on to other people. That is my issue with Karen. My issue with Karen has nothing to do with the fact that I love Zach and Fatima. My issue with Karen is just the fact that Karen just comes off very negative, very miserable. She's a miserable person. And I want for Karen, and instead of trying to be with Zach or even with Aaron, Karen needs to figure out who she is before she can be in a relationship with somebody. Because Karen is damaged, and Karen is damaged, scorned, and hurt by Zach. So she's talking to Aaron, and Aaron bought a bag. I was like, dude, I came with Aaron, you guys. So she talks to him about the fact that she knows that his friend told her about her being in the hospital and not to do it again, right? And here's my thing with Aaron. Aaron is a handsome guy, right? So I don't know why Aaron is just falling in behind Karen. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So then Karen tells Aaron that, she read an article that said, you can learn a lot about a person by going through their phone. Say what now? You can learn a lot about me by asking me some damn questions. You ain't going through my phone. But Aaron gave her his phone, let her go through it. She wanted some pasta. He was going to go to the store. She's like, your phone, Aaron. And he said, keep it. Who finna do that? Even if I ain't got nothing to hide. So, Ebony. Is that her name? Yeah, Ebony. Oh, I love her voice outside of that accent. Because that fake ass accent is just so damn annoying. But that's neither here nor there, right? So we see Danny. So Danny went to work, right? And she was on the phone with Preston. And, Preston is talking about how hard it is for him not to call her. I'm tired of Preston, right? I'm tired of Danny and Preston because they're doing a lot of a back and forth with each other. You guys like each other. If you guys can get, the things that are between Danny and Preston are very surface. The fact that, and the thing with Danny is Danny doesn't try to, when Preston is talking, you can listen to what he wants to talk about, but then you can incorporate things that you want to talk about. And that'd be my issue when it comes to Danny. And you guys know I love me some Danny. So she asks him, will he meet her at her house? He says yes. So then after that, he left, and then Q came up. Q was flirting with Danny, and Dan was like, dude, I ain't got time for your shit, so please move around. So then she notices that Jonah is sitting there, right? So despite the fact that I don't like Q, I got to go up for Q in this moment, because Q went up to, Jonah and told him basically like, nigga, I got time for you today. So if you feeling froggy, to jump, right? So that's that. Don't want to pause here and move forward. Yep, we're going to pause and actually we're going to wrap up the episode, you guys. So we see Karen. So Karen calls up Andy, and she's telling her about the fact that, Aaron left and she has his phone and she's going through his phone because, she told him about the article. And Andy was like, why are you doing that? Because she says it's too good to be true with Aaron. But do I think Aaron is too good to be true? Not necessarily. I just feel like there's something wrong with Aaron. I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing or what. I don't know. It's something. You know what? I think it might be like a bit of a savior complex. That's what I get from Aaron. I think Aaron has a savior complex, a God complex, right? So Andy basically tells Karen. She's asked Karen, "Did you find anything?" She says, "No, there's nothing wrong with him." I beg to differ. So then Karen asks, "Well, are y'all coming over?" She says, "Who?" She says, "You, Danny, Brina." Why do they call her Brina? Brina? Okay, I'm gonna let it go, right? So Andy says, "Well, me and Karen, me and Daniel come over." She's like, "Sabrina." I'll call Sabrina. And Karen's like, "I've been calling Brina on her phone, and she doesn't answer her phone because she ain't got her phone. She in jail." So then we see as Andy and Fatima are getting ready to leave for the day, right? And then Fatima spots Heather sitting over there. Heather is there to see her lawyer. I'm like, girl, how are you here to see a lawyer? You can't even spell your lawyer's name. Because the lawyer is Hayden. Hayden knows that Zach is... Now, here's a question. Did they answer the DNA question in Fatima? Because she's talking about a DNA. I know that they did the DNA test in Fatima, but did they get the DNA results? Let me know that in the comment section. I'm going to finish the show, you guys. Eventually, I'm going to finish the show. I just want y'all to answer these questions for me. So, where we at? Child, when Hayden came out, she says, "Hayden, how do you spell it?" He said, Hayden. Okay, Hayden. Hayden. Haydan. And Fatima was like, A-N? What the fuck? She said, this bitch can't even spell. I was like, exactly. But you guys know how little Hayden is. Little Hayden wants to get back at Zach. So then we end the episode with Andy and Danny at the jail seeing Sabrina. Now, Sabrina, girl, you got an attitude with the wrong people. You got an attitude with the wrong people, because she yelled at Andy. I'm like, now, y'all know. I think Andy could use a good yelling at, right? But she didn't deserve it, right? So Andy tells her what happened. That the guy that Maurice was involved with has a recording of Maurice, and that they were the ones that robbed the bank. Anybody with 2 good ears can listen to that goddamn recording and tell that Maurice was being facetious. Like, anybody can tell that. So Andy says that she's doing everything she can to help Sabrina. Sabrina asks her, what about Robin? And, Andy says, well, it's very complicated. She says, well, have you asked him? I'm like, look here, Sabrina. Look here. You and this puffball that you got on your head need to simmer down. So then the prosecutor came in. So the prosecutor knows Andy, right? And I honestly feel like this prosecutor should recuse himself, because he knows Andy's, and literally it sounds like he's doing this as get back to Andy, because Andy represented his ex-wife in their divorce, and he's paying the alimony. She has a boyfriend living in their house. She won't marry him, because if she marries him, that'll end her alimony. I don't understand how that works, but okay, maybe. But he's going after Sabrina because of Andy, and he like I said, that's a conflict of interest. He's talking about turning Andy in, but I'm like, Andy, you can turn him in because he has a conflict. He knows that this is your friend, and that's a conflict, so he should recuse himself. But that's the episode, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, you guys, and until next time, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, you guys, be blessed, And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.